My first electric car love. I missed that car for a very long time. For its time, I think it was an excellent EV, and I still think it is a good EV. And that is the reason why we bought the bigger brother. But anyway, I am drifting away. You have already seen it. There it is, the new generation. Let's find out what has improved and if it is still an excellent car for its time, because, well, there is a lot more competition. Hello there, monsters and men, ladies and people. That is the new generation Hyundai Kona Electric, and welcome to Recharging. Unlike the Kia e-Niro, there are actually two versions available of the Hyundai Kona Electric. There is a version with a 48 kWh battery pack. That one has a WLTP range of 370 kilometers, enough power to do 0 to 100 in 8.8 seconds, and a top speed of 162 kilometers an hour. But then there's also this version, the 65 kWh battery pack. This particular car stands on 19-inch wheels. Then that version has a WLTP range of 454 kilometers. But as standard you get 17-inch wheels, and then this version has a WLTP range of 514 kilometers. So if you ask me, pick the 17-inch wheels because, well, you have more range, a more comfortable ride, and also if you have to pay for the tires yourself, you have cheaper tires. The 65 kWh version also has enough power to do 0 to 100 in 7.8 seconds and has a top speed of 172 kilometers an hour. So, the new Hyundai Kona, a car that does not stand on the new eGMP platform. That means no 800 volt battery architecture. No, this car stands on the same platform as the Kia Niro. A platform that is designed with the philosophy of EV first, but it is also used to build the hybrid Kona and plug-in hybrid Kona. What it does share though with those Ioniq cars that stand on the eGMP platform is the pixel design. It is less clear on this car than on those Ioniq cars, but you can see it here in the front at this light strip and on the here, but you can see it more clearly at the rear. What is the same as the previous Hyundai Kona model is that the daytime running light is here, this light strip, and the normal headlights are down here. What is improved over the previous model is that this car now has a frunk of a whopping 27 liters. So the storage space in the front is improved, and let's check out if the storage space in the boot is also improved. But first, looking at the new Kona from the side, you can clearly see that it has grown. It is 15 centimeters longer than the previous model. That sounds promising for the boot space. But before I open up the boot, let's first check out the pixels, because I have said you can see them better here at the rear. And I think you can. You can see them here in this light strip, but also even better down here. And overall, I think the looks of the new Kona have massively improved over the old one. So now, let's open up the boot. Because the boot was not a strong point of the previous Kona. The previous Kona had a boot space of 332 liters. This new one has, let's open it up, a boot space of 466 liters, so 1/3 bigger. That is a lot. Under the boot floor, because this one has a false floor, there is quite some storage space. And if you fold down the rear seat, you get a boot space of 1300 liters. So again, a massive improvement over the old one. Now, let's check out the rear seats. Sorry for the darkness, but the weather outside is really shitty, so I am standing somewhere dry, but it is darker. Anyway, the seat in front of me is in my typical driving position. I am 1 meter and 85 centimeters, and I have plenty of knee room. I can also shove my feet under the seat in front of me, and headroom, well, I have plenty. This is a major improvement compared to the previous model. And even though the car is wider than the previous model, sitting here with 3 people, well, it's going to be cozy. But there is a flat floor. Besides that, there are two USB-C ports there. This version even has a 230 volt socket here in the back, really nice. And there is an armrest here with two cup holders. In terms of driving, the previous Hyundai Kona has two things. First of all, the suspension is on the firmer side, and second, it has a lot of torque and reacts quickly on the accelerator pedal. So what Hyundai has done is fix these two things, which results in a way more comfortable ride. First of all, they tuned down the torque from 395 Nm to 255 Nm. And because of this, when flooring the accelerator pedal, because this car is front wheel drive, you do have less wheel spin. What they have also done is made the transition between acceleration and regeneration smoother. And overall, this results in a way more comfortable drive. But because of this, the car also feels a bit slower than the previous model. What they have also done is made the suspension more comfortable, and therefore driving over a rougher road you feel less of the road. But at the rear, the suspension is maybe a bit too comfortable, because when going over a speed bump you can clearly feel the rear bouncing in. It does not bother me, but again, you can feel it clearly. And also because of the more comfortable suspension, when you take a corner with a higher speed, you can feel the weight leaning a little bit. But overall, even though the Hyundai Kona is not the most quiet EV out there, it is a really comfortable car to drive without any sporty DNA whatsoever. But of course, it doesn't have to have that. And what the Hyundai always does really well is your driving position. You have good seats with good adjustability, nice fixed steering wheel. You have no trouble finding a good driving position in this car. As I have already mentioned, I am driving the Kona with the 65 kWh battery pack and on 19-inch wheels. That one has a WLTP range of 454 kilometers. During my test period, the weather is pretty bad. The temperature is okay though, it is 8 to 10 degrees Celsius, but there is a lot of rain and a lot of wind. There is a wind force of at least 4 pretty much all the time. And when having tailwind, this car is super efficient. But when having headwind, well, that kills range at the moment. When driving on mixed roads, I do get a range of around 350 to 380 kilometers. Driving on the highway, it's more 320 to 350 kilometers. Driving faster on the highway, and then I am talking about 130 kilometers an hour, I'm getting around 240 kilometers of range on one battery. But I have to say though that when there is less wind in the night or in the early morning, then I do see consumption numbers that remind me of a Hyundai Kona or a Kia e-Niro, the numbers that I'm used to that these cars are getting. And therefore I am still confident that during better spring or summer conditions, yes, you can get the WLTP range of this car. You can do that 454 kilometers, or on the 17-inch tires, that's 514 kilometers. But I also have to say though that this new Hyundai Kona is a little bit less of a efficiency king than the previous model. But it is also bigger, so well, it does make sense. Besides that, what I do love about the Hyundais and Kias are the flippers behind the steering wheel, because with these flippers you can determine the amount of regeneration that the car should do when you lift your foot off the accelerator. And you can go all the way from coast to one pedal driving. That is amazing. Besides that, the car does preheat the battery when you navigate to a fast charger. It also plans charging stops when your destination exceeds your range. But the car does not have a heat pump as standard. The new Hyundai Kona has a 11 kilowatt onboard charger as standard. Charging the 48 kWh battery pack from 0 to 100% will take you around 5 hours. Charging this 65 kWh battery pack will take you around 7 hours. One of the biggest weaknesses of the previous Hyundai Kona is its fast charging capabilities. Charging that car from 10 to 80% on a fast charger takes you around 50 minutes, which is a long time. Well, I have good news, because for this 65 kWh battery pack, The maximum fast charging speed has been improved from 77 kilowatts to 100 kilowatts. Fast charging this car from 10 to 80% will take you around 37 minutes. A huge improvement. Still not groundbreaking for today's standard, but again, a huge improvement. Charging the 48 kilowatt hour battery pack on a fast charger, then you get a maximum fast charging speed of 75 kilowatts, and charging that one from 10 to 80% will take you also around 37 minutes. Then, the new Hyundai Kona also has support for vehicle to load. What does that mean? Well, that means you've already seen it. You have this adapter, and what you can do with this adapter is stick it in the charge port, and then here you have a 230 volt socket, and then you can charge whatever you like, even another EV. Welcome to the interior of the new Hyundai Kona, where things stayed the same where they had to, but have also been improved where they had to. The previous model, well, the interior was a bit cheap for the money you paid for the car, but this is a major improvement. And Hyundai has not done the same as every other modern EV, and I really like that. What do I mean by that? Well, this car still has physical buttons. Here for the infotainment system, for the climate control, for your heated seats, heated steering wheel, etc. Well done, Hyundai. Well done. What I noticed though is that the windshield of this car is relatively upright, and therefore the dashboard is not that deep, and therefore you sit relatively close to the windshield compared to other cars. It's just a thing that I noticed, but it's great for visibility to the front. Another thing that I noticed is that just like the Ioniq models, there is no Hyundai logo here on the steering wheel. Are they changing it? Are they ashamed of it? I don't know, but again, it's not there. Then let's check out cubby space. Well, it's pretty good in this car. The door pockets are pretty big and can fit a 1 liter bottle. There is a huge storage space here in the center console with 2 cup holders if you want to. Then there is some storage space under the armrest. There is a little space directly under the center armrest, and you have a glove box of a decent size. And then the infotainment system, because the last system that I tested of Hyundai's and also Kia's was the system in the Ioniq 6. And that system was getting a bit outdated. But this Hyundai Kona, well, it has a refreshed infotainment system and I really like it. It feels the same as that system of the Ioniq 6, but it looks different and it is snappier, more responsive. Yeah, I do like it. The system also has support for Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. There's an app available to, for example, preheat the car. It is over-the-air updatable, and you can also set different user profiles in the system. Again, overall, it is a really nice system to use and I really like the new layout. Well done! I hope all Hyundais will get this new infotainment system or get an update to at least get this new look and feel. There's only one thing, and well, this was always the case in the Hyundais and Kias. What I do like about the Hyundais and Kias is that you can customize a lot in the infotainment system, how you want certain things to feel, to behave, and again, it's really customizable and I like that a lot. But a downside to that is that you need a lot of menus for all those settings, and sometimes that can get a bit confusing. Besides that, together with a refresh of the infotainment system, there is also a refresh for your driving information. And also, looks really nice. It is clean, but you have all the information that you want right in front of you. And of course, all driving and safety features that you can wish for are available on this Kona. Although I have to say that not everything is standard. Hyundais are available with something called Highway Driving Assist. And the name basically already says it. It can assist you while driving on the highway. It will keep distance to the car in front of you, it will steer for you, it will auto lane change for you, it will even adjust your speed based on the speed limit. But what I do love about the Hyundais is that you can adjust it the way you like it. Don't you like the auto lane change? Turn it off. Don't you like changing your speed based on the speed limit? You can turn it off. I mean, you can even adjust how fast the car should accelerate, well, in cruise control. Do you want it slower for a more comfortable experience? Or do you want it fast so you are to your speed faster? I mean, that is amazing. So what is my final verdict of the new Hyundai Kona Electric? Well, it is an evolution instead of a revolution. And there is a lot more competition nowadays. And therefore, for its time, it goes from excellent to solid. Yeah, I still think the new Hyundai Kona Electric is a solid EV that has been improved on a lot of things it had to be improved. Again, I think it is a good car. There is just that one thing in my head that is telling me that it's not that much of an evolution that I would, for example, trade in our 2020 Kia e-Niro for this car. And that was the review of the new Hyundai Kona Electric. I hope you liked it, and if you did, please give a like and do subscribe. If you have something to say about all of this, well, please leave a comment. And then I would like to say now, thank you a lot for watching, and as always, to be continued.